Shannon Sharpe is one of those names that rings bells in different corners of pop culture. For some, he'll always be the football powerhouse, an NFL legend who dominated on the field and earned a spot in the Hall of Fame. For others, especially the younger generation, he's that bold, unfiltered voice on TV who just never holds back, whether he's debating sports or he's diving into cultural commentary. But in recent years, Shannon's public image has taken a bit of a turn. What started as a celebrated post-football career in media has slowly grown more complex, even controversial. His takes, his tones, and his clashes with guests and co-hosts has sparked several debates, not just about sports, but about who gets to speak, how they speak, and what it means to use your platform loudly and unapologetically. In this video, I'm going to talk about Shannon Sharpe's journey. I'll speak about how he rose to fame in the NFL, how he also reinvented himself in the media world, and how the very personality that made him a standout is now part of what's drawing both admiration and criticism. That being said, let me introduce myself. Hi guys, my name is Jo, and on this channel, I speak about whatever I want to speak about, whether they're trending or not. I give deep dives, commentary, social commentary, documentary. I just speak about whatever I want to speak about, whether they're trending or not. So if video essays are your cup of tea, commentary, or if you want to see my face next week, kindly like, share, and subscribe if you care. And that being said, a word from our sponsor. 2 years ago, I became a cat mom. And honestly, one thing I did not anticipate was the constant cat litter cleaning. Being a cat parent is wonderful, but I never anticipated just how much I would spend scooping litter. For over 2 years, I've cleaned my cat litter box immediately after he does his business, probably more than 500 times. Or maybe I'm exaggerating, but it sure feels like 8,000 times. Thankfully, with the Niakasa automatic litter box, I never have to scoop again. This self-cleaning litter box saves and disposes of waste just 5 minutes after my cat leaves, keeping it fresh and odor-free without any effort from me. Its open-top spacious design makes it more inviting for cats, and the smart sensors, they detect when my cat is inside, pausing the cleaning cycle for safety. Now, no more lingering odors, no more manual scooping, just a consistently clean litter box. The best part, the Niakasa app lets me monitor my cat's bathroom habits, check litter levels, and receive alerts when it's time to empty the waste bin. It's perfect for keeping track of my cat's health and hygiene, all from my phone. At first, my cat was hesitant, but now he loves it, and so do I. No more mess, no more stress, and more importantly, no more scooping. If you're ready to upgrade your cat litter experience, click the link in my bio or down below and use my code AMINA for a special discount. With Niakasa, the future of cat care is here. Thank you, Niakasa, for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for showing up every week. Because of you guys, I get valuable sponsorships like this. And that being said, let's get straight into this video. Honestly, we all know what's going on with Shannon Sharpe, and if you do not know what's going on with Shannon Sharpe, I'm going to tell you everything about him. And I don't know what the topic of this title is going to be, but diving into Shannon Sharpe and his recent controversy, I actually named it The Avoidable Downfall of Self-Hating Shannon Sharpe, because I don't understand why you have such a successful career and you choose to sabotage yourself like this. Like, you guys know me, when I speak about a topic, I like to go into the history, how this person came into prominence, what happened, blah blah blah. That's just how I like to dig into topics. So that's what exactly I'm going to do with Shannon Sharpe. So let's start with Shannon Sharpe. Who is Shannon Sharpe and where did he come from? About a year ago last year, I actually watched a documentary by Blitz on Shannon Sharpe, and that's when I knew that he was actually in the NFL. So basically, Shannon Sharpe's football career is the ultimate underdog story. It's the kind that you would expect to see in a movie. First of all, he wasn't a top draft pick. He was chosen in the 7th round of the 1990 NFL draft by the Denver Broncos, which basically means that his team, they weren't really expecting much from him. On the Denver Broncos YouTube channel, they did a highlight of Shannon Sharpe's whole career, and I'm going to put it here. Hopefully it's not copyrighted, but they also did a highlight on his career or whatever. But basically, 7th round picks, they usually get passed over. That means they're either forgotten or they are cut from the team before they even get a chance to shine. But Shannon Sharpe, he didn't just make the team, he also dominated, because over 14 seasons in the NFL, 12 with Broncos and 2 with the Baltimore Ravens, Shannon Sharpe, he built one of the most impressive resumes a tight end ever had. He racked up more than 10,000 receiving yards, 815 receptions, and 62 touchdowns. That kind of production is rare for any player, but especially for a tight end. I mean, a position that back then wasn't typically seen as a go-to offensive weapon. Shannon Sharpe, he decided to change that perception. He made it so clear that tight ends could be game changers, not just blockers. His talent on the field earned him 8 Pro Bowl appearances and 3 Super Bowl wins, which pretty much locks in his status as one of the greats. But even beyond this whole statistics and the accolades, what really made Shannon Sharpe stand out was his personality. He was fiery, he was funny, and he was fearless. Honestly, he was one of NFL's most legendary trash talkers, and he knew how to get in his opponent's head. So he was one of those kind of people, and his brother too was also in the NFL, and when he joined the NFL, he was like in the shadow of his brother, but he didn't want that and he decided to stand for himself. So one of his most talked about moments happened in the 1996 game against the New England Patriots. So basically, the Broncos, they were winning by a landslide, and he pretended to call the president. All that swagger, all that skills, and all that showmanship just came full circle in 2011 when Shannon Sharpe was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So basically, that moment wasn't just about honoring his status, it was about acknowledging how he redefined what it meant to be a tight end and how his energy actually helped shape the game itself. Shannon Sharpe's football journey is proof that where you start doesn't determine where you end up.
I'm the only player of 267 men that's walked through this building to my left that can honestly say this. I'm the only pro football player that's in the Hall of Fame, and I'm the second best player in my own family.
This one has been in the game since the 1990s, and as earlier this month, he even signed a $100 million deal. Just to show you guys how he still keeps soaring. And that's why I'm like, you have to hate yourself so much. And I'm going to expand on this later on, because you all know I don't just talk because I just want to talk. Like, I would bring up receipts and everything. Like I said, Shannon Sharpe's journey is proof that where you start doesn't determine where you end up. From a late draft pick to a Hall of Fame icon, he just became more than just a great athlete. He became a symbol of resilience, confidence, and evolution. And as we'll see, this same trait would follow him straight into the world of media, where he would once again make his mark, this time with a mic instead of a helmet. That being said, let's speak about Shannon Sharpe's rise as a media personality. After hanging up his cleats, it didn't take long for Shannon Sharpe to just find his next arena. This time not on the field, but in front of the camera. His transition into sports media just felt almost inevitable. Anyone who followed his NFL career knew that he had the gift of gab. He had the sharp wit, he had bold opinions, and he just had a natural flair for storytelling. So when he joined CBS Sports as a commentator on the NFL Today, it just felt like a smooth transition. For nearly a decade, Shannon Sharpe held it down at CBS, and he brought the same energy and insight that made him a star in the NFL. He broke down games, he offered analysis, and he slowly built his media chops into a more traditional, polished broadcast environment. But in 2014, when CBS decided to let him go, it could have been a major blow. Instead, it just turned out to be a moment that just shifted his career into a whole new gear. That shift came in 2016 when Fox Sports 1 launched a new show called Skip and Shannon Undisputed. Teaming Shannon Sharpe with longtime sports provocateur Skip Bayless was a bold move, but it actually worked. And do you know a reason why it worked and the reason why it even happened? It happened because Skip Bayless himself, he had vouched for Shannon. He vouched for Shannon and he reportedly told producers, I know he can do it, I believe in him. Honestly, Undisputed, it gave Shannon Sharpe a much bigger platform, and it gave Shannon Sharpe a platform that allowed him to just be himself unapologetically. This wasn't buttoned up network commentary. It was fiery debates, it was personal takes, and it was also cultural commentary all rolled up in one. Shannon Sharpe didn't just talk football, he talked basketball, he talked social issues, he talked politics, and he also talked pop culture. He literally wore durags, and he also smoked black and mild on air, and he created moments that instantly went viral. People weren't just watching for the takes, they were watching for the personality that Shannon Sharpe had. But the same bold dynamic that made Undisputed a hit also caused serious friction, especially between Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. So basically, their relationship was built on being opposite, and it started to crack when the debates just turned personal. One of the most public breaking points came when Skip Bayless accused Shannon Sharpe of being jealous of Tom Brady, and he implied that Shannon Sharpe, a Hall of Famer in his own right, somehow resented Tom Brady's career. And that moment wasn't just about sport. It felt like a shot at Shannon Sharpe's character. And for a man who built his entire personality on authenticity and self-respect, to Shannon Sharpe, that crossed a line. From there, it was just clear that things wouldn't be the same. The same chemistry that they had faded. The tension grew, and eventually, Shannon Sharpe left the show.
Tom Brady had a problem. You said Tom Brady should have had a problem with Byron after Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich comes up with a game plan. And here's a guy that was not in the meeting when they came up with it, come in with his red pen scratching out stuff.
Yep.
Now Tom Brady is not up, because most coaches and NFL coaches work between 80 and 100 hours in a 5-6 day week. So Tom Brady the night before, he's making tweets when he didn't stay up those 80 to 100 hours. So shouldn't they have a problem with that?
Who do you think watches more tape, Tom Brady or all the coaches?
All the coaches.
Stop it.
All the coaches.
Stop.
I'm not going to let you do it.
No,
I'm not going to let you
I'm
do it.
going to do
I
it
don't care.
because I just
I'm
did
not
it.
going to let you be disrespectful to these damn coaches because you love Tom
okay.
Brady.
Nobody,
Tom Brady does not watch more tape.
No quarterback in the history of this league
Ladies and
watch more
gentlemen,
tape.
that is a flat out lie.
That's a flat out lie that you're perpetrating. There's never been anything, because you can't stand it that Tom Brady at 45 is still playing this game at a very high level. Yeah.
These numbers say Tom Brady's not playing at a high level.
I need you.
No,
okay, you're
that's
in the
not what
Hall
it's
of Fame
about.
because you're scared to death of him because he's haunted you. Time out. Ladies and gentlemen at home, I would like to announce the fact, if you're new to our show, that this man, for 6 straight years on this show that we have been partners at this debate desk, has tried to send Tom Brady home, said he's washed up, his arm is in decline, and he should just go on home. It started the first day of this show in September of 2016, and he has been wrong for 6 straight years, and he's going to be wrong again. I'm standing by what I say.
How convinced are you Tom Brady's going to win the Super Bowl?
Okay, I picked him to win it. I'm not backing off.
Well, put something on it.
Well, what do you mean I put my pride on it. I put my pride. Who did you pick? You picked the Rams and the Chargers, okay?
And the only difference is, everybody knows the Rams are bad, but they don't want to say Tom Brady is playing just as bad as Matt Stafford. Skip, they're in the terrible division. They're in the worst division in football.
Good. Are they going to be in the playoffs? Help me out.
Skip,
I need you to
That's your argument.
Okay,
That's your argument.
What do you mean that's my argument?
Your argument is that they're going to be in the playoffs. Is Tom Brady playing bad? Okay. Yes or no?
Yes, he played poorly yesterday.
Today?
Okay, but you're giving him 100%
I
of the
did.
blame?
That's
just, you have no objectivity. It's just straight Brady hate. Wait a minute. This is just straight hate by a guy who's jealous that he is still playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
That's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No.
I did what I did.
I never said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you.
Better.
See what you do? You take personal shots.
No, personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal
Put your glasses back on.
Can I finish? You're willing to take a personal shot at me. To say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you
Go ahead.
you disrespect him. It's just so.
You
know what? It's beneath your
you
dignity.
You disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever played your game, and it's by far.
Have at it.
Okay,
Take off.
I'm going to have at it because I'm going to have at you because what happened yesterday?
So basically, what started as something that was so groundbreaking, this groundbreaking media pairing had just run its course, and Shannon Sharpe was ready for the next chapter. So now let's talk about Club Shay Shay, a new era, and the viral evolution of Shannon Sharpe. After his very public exit from Undisputed, a lot of people wondered what Shannon Sharpe's next move would be. Would he land another TV gig, or would he just go quiet for a while? Instead, Shannon Sharpe did something that not only kept his voice out there, but actually made it bigger than it ever became. He fully leaned into independent media, and it turned out to be one of the smartest moves of his career. First came the Club Shay Shay. So basically, Club Shay Shay is a podcast that gave Shannon Sharpe the space to do something different. That means have long, deep, surprising conversations with guests from across the cultural spectrum. This wasn't sports radio or cable TV back and forth. It was literally unfiltered, sometimes emotional, and always revealing. Athletes, actors, comedians, everyone just came through to virtual club. And honestly, Shannon Sharpe showed a new level of skill as an interviewer. Then there was Nightcap. Nightcap was more of a laid-back podcast he co-hosted with another NFL personality called Chad Oshinko. I really don't know how to pronounce that, his middle name. Chad Osinko Johnson. I think that's how it's pronounced. Basically, it's like this. If Club Shay Shay was this thoughtful dinner conversation, Nightcap was like the after party. The vibe was relaxed, the laughs, they were frequent, and the topics, sometimes they were wild. So basically, the conversation could be from raccoon soup to strip club wings. And the show dove into food, lifestyle, and the off-the-wall stories that gave fans a peek into the candid side of both men.
Guy made a raccoon soup.
I got my coon cooked down inside some gravy right here.
Yeah. You want to try it with me?
Absolutely not. No.
No. Hold on. Timeout. I got to get a timeout. I got to get a full timeout, Ocho. You'll suck toes, but you won't eat no coon.
Whoa, let me rewind this again and let me press play. You'll eat some raccoon soup, but you ain't gonna suck no toes.
No, sir.
Boy, raccoons eat out the garbage, but you won't suck on no toes that's clean, just had a pedicure?
I tell you what.
Boy, you tripping.
A chicken and a hog is nastier than a raccoon. Look it up.
But listen, they all nasty.
Hey, Ocho, Uncle Ocho, exotic eating. We going all over the country.
All over the world?
Eating armadillo, possum, raccoon, turtle.
That sound like some goddamn Fear Factor shit. Now, I do that. I try anything once.
Yeah.
Anything, try once. Now, I'm talking about food. I ain't,
I'm about to call you. I'm about to call you. You on your own.
It was fun, it was chaotic, and it was real. And it was something that the fans could feel. Through this casual chat, Shannon Sharpe, he became more than just a commentator. He became a personality in his truest form. The real turning point, the moment that shot Shannon Sharpe into a whole new level of cultural relevance, came in January 2024 with an episode of Club Shay Shay that went crazy viral. The guest, none other than Cat Williams. Basically, what started as a sit-down quickly turned into a headline machine. Over the course of nearly 3 hours, Cat Williams, he delivered a fiery, no-hold-barred monologue, calling out fellow comedians like Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, and Kevin Hart. And he made bold claims that had the internet in chokehold for days. And while the content of the interview was so controversial, one thing was undeniable. Shannon Sharpe had arrived in a new lane. People who had never watched a football game in their lives were now talking about Club Shay Shay. Young viewers, pop culture fans, people on TikTok, people on Twitter, people on YouTube. Suddenly, everyone just had an opinion on Shannon Sharpe, and it had nothing to do with sports. The interview didn't just go viral, it marked a shift, and it marked a cultural shift. Shannon Sharpe was no longer just a former athlete or a sports commentator or pundit. He was now a central figure in the culture. He had built a brand, he had built a platform, he had built a personality that could thrive outside the traditional media system, and it was not on like Fox News terms, it was on his own terms. For all of Shannon Sharpe's success on field, in media, and as a growing cultural central figure, his journey hasn't been without misstep. And in June 2023, he found himself at the center of a firestorm that had nothing to do with sport or debate, but everything to do with perception, sensitivity, and how certain words land in public spaces. It started with what seemed like a sweet, simple moment. Shannon Sharpe, he posted a photo on Twitter celebrating Father's Day with his daughter. The image itself was wholesome, just a proud dad just sharing with his child. But the caption, that lit a match, honestly. He said, "Yes, my daughter's hair is real. Your boy did his thing." At first glance, it might look like a light-hearted, even passionate comment, but online, the reaction was swift and critical. Many people just felt like Shannon Sharpe's emphasis on his daughter's hair being real just played into deep-rooted issues around beauty standards, specifically in Black communities. In case you do not know, hair, especially for Black women and girls, carries weight because it's not just about look. It's tied to identity, it's tied to history, and it's tied to social politics. For generations, real or good hair has often been code for hair that aligns more closely with Eurocentric ideals. Straighter, looser textures, longer lengths. So when Shannon Sharpe pointed out that his daughter's hair was real, even in jest, it literally struck a nerve. So many people criticized him. One person said, "What do you mean that you did a good job because her hair is real?" Another person said, "The last line was so unnecessary." Another person also said, "Last line is weird." Another person said, "I'm glad you were able to shake your own hair insecurities through your child Shannon." Honestly, for so many people, the issue wasn't just the words he used. It was those words that represented a subtle reinforcement of the idea that real hair is something special or superior and that it's worth highlighting in a public space. That wasn't Shannon Sharpe's first time commenting on appearances. He's known for playful remarks and strong opinions, but this moment just felt different. It touched on sensitive generational pain around beauty, race, and self-worth. And for someone with a growing platform and influence beyond just sports fans, the expectations around cultural awareness are higher. What added fuel to the fire was Shannon Sharpe's silence afterwards. So basically, despite the mounting backlash, he didn't issue a clarification, he didn't issue an apology or even an acknowledgement. I mean, the post is even still up. He's not changed anything. It's on his Instagram, it's also on his Twitter. On his Instagram, he said, "Yes, that's his real hair." But on Twitter, he added, "Your boy did his thing." So for some, that silence just read as dismissive, and it was a missed opportunity for him to just engage in an important dialogue or at least show some reflection. In the grand scheme of his career, this moment may seem small, but it was a turning point in how people, especially younger and more socially aware people, viewed Shannon Sharpe. It showed that while he was successfully reinventing himself as this media powerhouse, he's not immune to criticism, especially when it comes to conversations that go deeper than entertainment. Now let's talk about more serious accusations of Shannon Sharpe. Because while Shannon Sharpe has faced his share of internet backlash and uncomfortable headlines, none compares to the seriousness of what he's currently up against. In early 2025, a civil lawsuit was filed in Nevada that accuses Shannon Sharpe of and sexual misconduct, sending shockwaves through the media world and raising serious questions about his future in the public eye. I'm not gonna lie, I do not feel sorry for Shannon Sharpe. There are people that feel sorry for Shannon Sharpe, and I'm going to get into what he had to say on his Instagram, his TikTok, or whatever. The woman behind the lawsuit, Gabriela Zuniga, claims that she met Shannon Sharpe at a Los Angeles gym in 2023 when she said 19, other sources said 20, and he was in his mid-50s. According to the legal documents, their initial interaction led to what she described as a controlling and abusive relationship, one that allegedly turned violent. YouTube, if you're watching this, I have tried my very best to make this child and advertisement friendly. Please do not demonetize me because it's very frustrating. Anyways, Zuniga, on her own lawsuit, she's Jane Doe, she's anonymous, but why we know her name is because Shannon Sharpe lied and he mentioned her name, so her name is Gabriela Zuniga according to Shannon Sharpe. So Gabriela, her lawsuit outlines a disturbing narrative. She alleges that Shannon Sharpe offered to buy her breast implant if she could meet a weight loss goal, and then he demanded complete control over her time and her body. Things reportedly escalated when she tried to leave the relationship. In the most serious of her allegations, she claimed that he physically assaulted her, including grabbing her by the neck and threatening her life. Sharpe has flatly denied all these accusations. His legal team painted the lawsuit as a blackmail scheme and claimed that the relationship was entirely consensual. To back his claims, his team even released explicit text messages between him and Zuniga. So this text message was to show that they had a relationship that was filled with sexual role play and mutual fantasies, not coercion and abuse. He is into some racial kink play. Like she was talking about giving him black babies. She kept saying, "I want black babies inside of me." Yo. I don't want to say sometimes I understand Dr. Umar because he even spoke on this matter, and my last video was on Dr. Umar where some of you were like, he repeats himself, and that man repeats himself and it pissed me off. And you know, he came out and he was like, the only reason why he's going to forgive Shannon Sharpe is if he stops messing with snow bunnies. That's the only reason he will forgive Shannon Sharpe.
Shannon Sharpe, I'm going to stand with you, my brother. Shannon Sharpe, I'm going to stand with you, my brother, on one condition. I'm getting text messages from all over the African universe telling me that Shannon Sharpe was accused of the unspeakable. I'm getting text messages telling me that Shannon Sharpe was accused of the unspeakable. I'm going to stand with my Uncle Shannon Sharpe. That's right. I'm going to stand with Uncle Shay Shay on one condition. Uncle Shay Shay, no more snow bunnies after this scandal. If you cannot promise me that you will never seek the company of another snow bunny, I cannot stand with you. Uncle Shay Shay. Uncle Shay Shay. I'm standing with you, Unc. I think it's a scam. I'm standing with you, Unc. I think it's a scam. I'm standing with Uncle Shannon Sharpe on this one. I'm standing with Uncle Shannon Sharpe on this one. But Uncle Shay Shay, no more bunnies after this. Can somebody confirm if he's being accused by snow bunnies or Afro-Queens? Is Uncle Shannon being accused of snow bunnies or Afro-Queens? Who can confirm? Does anybody know the race of Uncle Shay Shay's accusers? Are they black or are they white? Are they black? Is this a rice bunny situation? Is this a snow bunny situation? Is this a sand bunny situation? Is this a salsa bunny situation? Teresa Double O, if you have a co-wife, you can fill out my wifey resume. Wifey resumes must come with 2 names on them. Wifey resumes must come with 2 names on them. You know my number. Text messages only. I need to know the race of Uncle Shay Shay's accusers. Was Shannon Sharpe accused by the rice? Was Shannon Sharpe accused by the ice? Was Shannon Sharpe accused by the snow? Was Shannon Sharpe accused by the sand? Or was he accused by the salsa? I'm standing with Uncle Shannon because I don't like when black men get taken down. I got to stand by him. Yes, he's a lifetime snow bunny hopper. Yes, he's a lifetime snow bunny hopper, but that's my brother. Black power. Uncle Shannon Sharpe is my brother. I'm standing with Uncle Shannon Sharpe until the facts prove otherwise. That's right. I'm standing with Uncle Shannon Sharpe until the facts prove otherwise.
Dr. Umar is so senseless. So the only reason you would stand by Shannon Sharpe is if you stop messing with white women. What about being with someone who is his age and just stop the whole king play? So is it okay for him allegedly to do this with a black woman? Like, when I say Dr. Umar is, I don't want to call him senseless, but honestly, he is. Yo, my throat is itching me. We just digress. Anyways, like I said, Shannon Sharpe flatly denied all accusations. His legal team, they painted the situation as a blackmail scheme, and honestly, they argued that the accusation was completely fabricated, and this is the case of someone attempting to destroy Shannon Sharpe's reputation for personal gain. Her lawyer, Tony Busby, who we all know Tony Busby for flopping the case he brought against Jay-Z. So now people are like, the lawyer Tony Busby is always going against black successful men, because I don't think anybody has seen Tony Busby going against white successful men. It's mostly black successful men, and People know him as an ambulance chaser. Now people know him as, so people are like, okay, this is a money grab because it's Tony Busby. Nobody's taking the whole case serious. But let's continue. The ultimate thing is, no matter what the court ultimately decides, the damage to Shannon Sharpe's career and his image is already unfolding. These are not the kinds of allegations that would simply blow over. Even without criminal charges being filed as of now, the mere existence of such claims just places a heavy cloud over his own career. For a man whose brand is built on personality, relatability, and trust, especially among the younger and socially aware audiences, this case just presents the most serious threat yet to his reputation and long-term media presence. Honestly, it also brings up broader questions that society just continues to grapple with. How do we balance presumption of innocence with accountability? What happens to a public figure's legacy when such serious accusations emerge? And how should media platforms and fans just respond in the meantime? Shannon Sharpe, once seen as this nearly untouchable person in his post-NFL reinvention, he now finds himself in the most critical and uncertain chapter of his public life. The outcome of this case and how he chooses to navigate it could very well redefine how he's remembered.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Now, let's talk about the Instagram slip-up live that changed everything. Because before the public even knew about the lawsuits that would come to dominate headlines, there was a bizarre and deeply uncomfortable moment that gave the first real glimpse into what would later spiral into something much bigger. In September 2024, Shannon Sharpe accidentally went live on Instagram. And I say accidentally because nobody actually believes that that was accidentally. Because first of all, to go live on Instagram, you go through several steps. But it wasn't a sports hot take, it wasn't a behind the scenes look at his life, or even a technical glitch. What was it? His followers were very, very shocked to hear what clearly sounded like audio of a sexual encounter. The live stream, which lasted just long enough to cause damage, was heard by thousands of people, and it quickly went viral, with clips circulating online almost immediately. Oh, my Michelle. Oh, my Michelle. Oh my God. I was watching Wiggins' commentary on this, and he really knows how to imitate the voice of Shannon Sharpe when he was doing his business live. Oh my God, it is just so funny that this man, that's why I'm like, you're touching 60 years at this point, like you're almost 60 and you're acting like someone who is looking for fame. You've already had fame since literally you're stapled in the wall of fame. Like, why are you doing this? Another reason why I think he's self-hating is because, first of all, I have no issue with whoever you want to fall in love with, but I feel like he's not even comfortable being black. He speaks about black hair. The people he's caught up with, people he's mostly with, are young white or white passing women, and he's hardly with a black person from all I've known, allegedly, if you know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm not saying, oh, him not being with a black person means that he hates himself, but there are people who just find love with other races, but I feel he intentionally just wants to find love in a race that is not his. And the fact that he even speaks about his daughter's hair, acting like having 4C hair or Nigerian hair or thick African hair is ugly. That's what I get from him. But let's continue. At first, Shannon Sharpe brushed it up because he claimed that his Instagram account was hacked. And this is a common reflex that most celebrities always do anytime they have like PR disasters. But that explanation, it did not stick for long. Just days later, on his own podcast, Nightcap, he admitted what had really happened. He explained that he had accidentally activated Instagram Live by tossing his phone on the bed while in the middle of a private moment. His explanation was straightforward and it was even casual. He called the incident embarrassing and offered an apology to his family, his employers, his fans, and he said that he was simply a healthy and active male. And some people laughed it off as a clumsy accident, maybe even a little too relatable in the age of oversharing and constant connectivity, while others weren't so forgiving. People criticized him for his carelessness and for dragging private moments into the public domain, even if it was unintentionally. Even some people were also asking that he gets fired from NBC or whatever show he's on at the moment. In hindsight, this wasn't just an awkward blip on the radar, because according to Gabriela Zuniga's lawsuit, the Instagram Live incident was a pivotal turning point in their relationship, because that's when she kind of found that he cheated on her or whatever. God, this is why I'm like, this man. She said that it was after this moment that she decided to end their relationship, which already triggered Shannon's violent reaction. Her lawsuit asserts that it's their first sexual assault that took place shortly after she tried to cut ties with him following the live stream debacle. In that context, what many people saw just as an embarrassing tech mistake now takes on a much darker tone, potentially setting the stage for the alleged abuse that followed. It's very easy for something like an accidental live stream to get caught up in memes and jokes, but in the broader timeline of events, this moment just feels very different right now. What once felt like a viral slip-up, according to Shannon Sharpe, now looks like this precursor to a much more serious situation, and that shift in perspective has especially been visible on social media, where some people, they have actually gone back to revisit the live stream in light of the lawsuit, and some people are not laughing any longer. For Shannon Sharpe, the incident wasn't just a PR headache. It may have been the beginning of a major unraveling in an era where personal behavior is constantly under the microscope. Even private mistakes, they do have public consequences, and when those mistakes become part of a larger story that involves control, trauma, and alleged abuse, they are no longer just personal, they are part of a narrative of accountability.
No, anything I say you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna fucking choke the shit out of you when I see you.
Well, I don't.
You know what?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do.
Conclusion. Shannon Sharpe's trajectory from an underdog NFL legend to a major voice in digital and televised sports media has been undeniably impressive. But as this video has shown, that rise has also been marked by growing complexities in how he uses, maintains, and responds to the power he holds. At this point in his career, Shannon Sharpe isn't just a sports commentator or an internet personality. He's a cultural figure. He's a brand, he's an influencer with millions of eyes on him. And with that level of visibility just comes a unique kind of responsibility, especially in today's media landscape where public accountability is no longer optional. This is where his recent controversies, especially the lawsuits that have been brought to him by Gabriela, have created a moment of record. The allegations that were made against him are extremely serious. Sexual assault, coercive control, and emotional manipulation revelation, they are very, very serious. The reported timeline from the initial Jane meeting to the Instagram live incident to also the alleged assault, it just raises critical questions, not about his private behavior, but about how much personal ethics aligns with his public image. When someone who is known for his real talk and bold commentary faces this level of accusation, it just challenges audiences and people who know him to examine what we expect from people we allow to lead public conversations, especially when it comes to that Instagram live tobacco that he had. He said something. I've noticed something about Shannon Sharpe. He's been trying to prove that he is a straight man. He's been trying to prove that for a very long time, because in case you guys do not know, there was a time people were comparing him to Miss Netta, saying that he looks like Miss Netta. And when the whole thing came out, he said Cat Williams actually called him and said, at least we know that you're not gay. And the fact that he mentioned that, people are like, why do you keep on having to constantly prove that you're not gay? I think they didn't just come from critics or social media. They came from someone that Shannon Sharpe invited onto his own platform. So in case you do not know, in early 2024, award-winning actress and comedian Monique sat down with Shannon Sharpe for an episode of Club Shay Shay. So during the conversation, she offered a moment of real pointed wisdom. In a tone that was warm but firm, Monique advised Shannon Sharpe very publicly to stop dating women very much younger than him. She wasn't joking. Her exact words were, "You got too much power and too much history to be out here playing with little girls. Date someone who has lived a little, someone who can challenge you, not someone who is still figuring herself out."
No 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get your old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Whilst watching this on TikTok, I'm going to put the TikTok video in here. The person was like, Shannon Sharpe expects me to be sorry for him when he's 50 years dating someone whose frontal lobe has not developed. This is a TikTok commentator that said this, and I'm just paraphrasing what she said. I'm going to post it after this.
I do not feel bad for Shannon Sharpe. Actually, nail him to the wall. Men like Shannon Sharpe go after women whose frontal lobe have yet to develop, and then when they prove to you that they are still children, it's, "Oh, how dare she try to manipulate me? How dare she try to get money from me?" Why do you think she was fucking with your old ass? No, really. Why would a 19-year-old go after a man in his 50s who she also knows is only here for a good time? Y'all keep doing this. Y'all keep doing it. It keeps happening because y'all have spent y'all years mistreating women, and then because women have dealt with shit their entire life, you're like, that's baggage. No, that's called common sense, because a woman will no longer allow you to play with her once a woman gets to the point where she's like, wait a minute. That's when y'all want to be like, oh, she got baggage, she got boundaries. And y'all don't want women with boundaries, with self-respect. Y'all want little girls who is going to do whatever y'all want her to do for a little bit of change. You want that phone telling that girl that you're going to choke the shit out of her and that she going to like it. And now she trying to get over on you and you mad. She's in it for money. She's in it for the money. Where y'all problem is, y'all think y'all are bigger than the program. Y'all get so full of yourself that you genuinely think this child wants you for real. Men like that scare me. Because what does a 56-year-old and a 19-year-old have in common? Actually, she's 20 now and he's 56 now. So a 55-year-old and a 19-year-old have in common. What? What do you have to talk about? What life experiences do y'all have to discuss? None. And anytime, and I know men are gonna find their way in their comments like, it's legal. If you have to say it's legal as a way to defend your dating preferences, you're a predator. You're a predator. That's like us saying slavery was bad, and y'all be like, well, it was legal. That doesn't make it okay. It used to be legal to beat your wife. It used to be legal to rape your wife. Does that make it okay? I mean, it's legal. Because y'all love to be, she legal, she legal, she legal, she legal. And then you know what I always find so funny? When men get to, when people ask them like, well, if you had a 19-year-old daughter and a man in his 50s wanted to date her, would you be okay with that? Well, I mean, if he was going to take care of her, and if he was going to, no, you would not. You would not be okay with that. You would think, man, he is dirty. But for somehow y'all can reason with yourselves and think that that's okay. And don't come in the comments talk about Drea, because I think that whole dirty too. I think age gap relationships, any way you shift them, is disgusting. I think in any relationship where there is a significant difference, whether it be finances or age, there is going to be a level of manipulation. If someone has $0 and someone has millions of dollars, power difference. If someone has decades of life experience and someone barely has any, their frontal lobe, their critical thinking skills have yet to fully develop, there is going to be manipulation involved. And it's not appropriate. Y'all be wanting to date children, because if you just wanted to date someone a little bit younger than you, whatever. But if the age gap is bigger than the person's age, the age gap is bigger than the person's age, it's not appropriate. No matter which way y'all try to shake it. Oh, well, he could teach her something. She could get a mentor. Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Not some dirty old man that wants to do whatever they was doing. And then also, let's tap into the big black baby.
At this time, the comments, they got some laughs when Monique had said this, but in hindsight, it feels hauntingly resilient. According to Zuniga's lawsuit, she met Shannon Sharpe at just 20 years old, and that means she was 34 years younger than Shannon Sharpe. This alleged dynamic of control and emotional manipulation just mirrors exactly what Monique was warning against. She understood that relationships with vast age and power gaps can often turn into breeding grounds for imbalance and, in worst case scenario, abuse. Shannon Sharpe reportedly brushed off Monique's comments with his usual charm, but the truth is, this was more than just a friendly advice. It was a red flag that was waved in real time on his own show in front of millions. This situation just raises broader discussions about power imbalances in relationships, especially when age and fame are factors, the blurred lines between public personas and private behaviors, and the importance of listening to critical feedback, even when it comes from people that you respect. And perhaps most importantly, the consequences of ignoring patterns that others are pointing out in good faith. It also reminds us that celebrity culture often protects charisma over character, and that must change. So when someone is allowed to dominate discourse, whether it's in sport, whether it's in media, whether it's in culture at large, They also need to be held to the same standards that they often hold others to. Whether Shannon Sharpe will survive this moment professionally just remains to be seen. He still has a massive platform and he still commands cultural relevance. And most people I've seen, they decided to take Shannon Sharpe's side. And honestly, like I said, I do not know where I stand until everything is settled. I really do not know. Like, I did not watch Shannon Sharpe or whatever. I just know him because of commentary channels, and when he goes viral, that's when I know him. I can't be like, oh, let me watch a Shannon Sharpe's podcast. And if you guys know, I watch Lovely T a lot, so I also watch her commentary when she speaks about Shannon Sharpe. And now that this has gone, I decided to do my own research and get my notes for you guys. So literally, like I said, he still commands cultural relevance, but cultural capital is no longer immune to ethical scrutiny. This lawsuit, paired with earlier incidents and warnings, has forced a public reconsideration of who he is, not just as a commentator, but as a man. If there's any lesson here for any aspiring public figures, let me tell you guys this: your influence doesn't just amplify your voice, it magnifies your behaviors. What you do when the cameras are off matters just as much as, if not more, than what you say when they are on. So I just wanted to leave you guys with this. That being said, thank you guys so much. If you made it to the end, please drop a light bulb emoji. I don't know why I said that. And thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. And I really do love and appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, bye.